everyone, and it is a bright and shiny week, and I'm here sat with Axel as metals shoot higher, especially precious metals. How are you, Axel?
I'm all right, Angeline. How are you?
I'm very good indeed. How was your weekend?
Busy, but good. I saw one more choice. No. I can't remember the title even now. The Korean movie, which is Oscar.
Oh, amazing.
No Other Choice. That's the one.
How was it?
I liked it. It was very good, yeah.
Lots of twists and turns.
Yeah.
It's the one with the man and the wife, and he finds out different things, and he's trying to...
I'm not going to say what it is.
Good morning, everyone. Money Geek, Friar Tuck, and McDuff as well. Idara, good morning to you. And IR, Rags, Glasgow, also here. Wing It, long time no see. Good morning to all of you. What an exciting day it is. And I have, of course, the wonderful technical specialist here with me. Big week coming up. And one of the key things that we have to go through very quickly first is, of course, the movers, because we were braced, weren't we, for quite a mixed open. But let's have a look at the FTSE at the moment.
Well, not surprising. I mean, look at this. Fresnillo, who's got, they've got earnings out later this week. Antofagasta, so all the miners, Endeavour Mining, obviously with the gold price going above 5,000.
10 months earlier than Peter Hambro's November prediction. Silver as well on Friday. What an exciting day.
Yeah.
It was, I spent the half an hour before 3 p.m. Those of you who are watching the space, I know that many of you also trading that. It was one of the most exciting sessions of the year so far for me. So all the miners moving higher, but also some of the defensives as well. Aviva, Legal and General. BP, we'll get to that in a bit because Nat Gas is going cuckoo bananas too. And we also have the Rio Tintos, the BAE Systems, a lot of defense names as well. Switching over to the losers list.
Well, it's a mixed bunch, isn't it? I mean, look at this. I can never pronounce this one.
Benckiser,
right?
Yes.
Ashdod Group, so fund management, Informa, so data-driven news, and pharmaceuticals. But yes, EasyJet is interesting because, again, they've got earnings later on this week, so that'll be interesting to watch out for. And also Rolls-Royce Holdings, because Rolls-Royce has been doing extremely well. It's risen nearly as much as NVIDIA over the last few years, and not many people talk about that. And to see it here in the downers is kind of interesting. Yeah.
I mean, Rolls-Royce, I think, has had its moment. RSAC, so you're still in Rolls-Royce. Taking a look at some of the other news as well, we had, of course, Trump threatening Canada, 100% tariffs threatened if Canada dares to strike a deal with the Chinese. And Besant also criticizing Carney's about face as well. Now... Carney says Canada has no intention of pursuing free trade with China. What do you make of all this?
It's bullying. That's what I think of it. But yes, I mean, the world order, the pace at which it is changing because of Donald Trump is just unbelievable. And it's creating a lot of instability. And I don't think that might necessarily be very good for the NATO alliance and for neighbors of, or allies of the US. For that matter. So yes, interesting times.
And that might feed into the week ahead. Let's have a look at what's in store for you.
So we've got today, this morning, German IFO index. So that could be interesting, just sentiment to see what's there, then durable goods order in the US. But to be quite honest, there's not that much from an earnings point of view for this week. Let me just go to the whole week here. We can have tomorrow, we've got US consumer confidence, which people will look at. And then obviously on Wednesday, the Bank of Canada rate decision, where we expect no rate change there. They will probably maintain their 2.25%. And for those who are interested in oil, because the oil price has also been rising for 4 straight weeks because of the geopolitical tensions, we've got the oil inventories on Wednesday. And then obviously, most importantly, the Fed decision at 7 p.m., which isn't really that important from a rate cut perspective, because I don't think anybody expects it to cut. We'll stay at 350 to 375. but the forward guidance will be the one that everybody is going to look at here. And then Thursday, initial jobless claims as usual, and Friday we've got PPI in the US and PMI. And if you're interested in Europe, GDP in Germany, the flash fourth quarter, and also inflation data, but I don't think that's really driving anything. What's more likely to drive things forward is earnings, because we've got the big names this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Tesla, Meta, and so forth. So.
It's a real big kickoff in terms of tech as well. And I've got this lovely fancy graphic that one has prepared earlier for you. And take a look at that. It is going to be a belter of a week there. Meta, ASML, Microsoft as well. Which key names are you looking out for, Axel?
Also Chevron and Exxon because of oil. So that's going to be a very interesting play. And yes, I mean, as you said, basically we've got all the big tech names here: Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla. And I think this and next week will probably have the bulk of all the earnings anyway, out of all of the S&P 500 stocks. So it's going to be everything, really.
So we have Julian Wheeler here quite often talking about if you want to stay with tech, go with the A's and maybe lay off the M's for a bit. So the M's being Meta and Microsoft. They felt the shift more than the rest, both trading some 18% below last year's record highs, pulling valuations down towards the lower end of recent ranges. Now what we're looking out for is, of course, signs that these companies' huge AI plays is finally going to start paying off. But it's a big if still, because many of these companies are still making promises, right?
Well, they certainly are.
It's going to come true. All these, revenue streams, new revenue streams, which takes me to Apple. Apple is a really interesting one. I think it's going to be one of the most fascinating ones. Rather than sinking billions into the AI model, the two schools of thought out there, Axel, which one are you on? One school of thought is that it's waiting to see who comes out of the AI fight, and then it's going to swoop in and buy the winners rather than going in and fighting until it's exhausted? Or do you think it's late to the game and actually needs to do a heck of a lot of catching up?
I think the former. I don't think Apple's late to the game. And if you look at the actual share price, I mean, yes, it's come off since the December highs, but basically we are sort of holding around $250, $240, and the question is that just a correction in a long-term uptrend that we've seen since April of last year? Or is that the beginning of something which is a little bit more nasty, whereby we could see a correction that takes us down in the first quarter of this year? And it's the same for a lot of the other M stocks we just mentioned, Meta and Microsoft. The charts are quite similar. So, yeah, interesting.
And interesting too what it says about its Google Gemini pair up, because this is all to do with its launch of the AI-powered Siri. To my mind, I've tested this a lot, and recently still don't find Siri very, very intuitive. And also the focus will be on its sales, because the costs that it's putting into this partnership will not show up in last quarter's numbers. We've also got I believe Tesla this week. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Right. So Tesla, lots of people with big positions. I know both shorts and longs here on this show. I know many of you reach out. Thank you very much on ask@ig.com. What do you make of Tesla, and what are you expecting to hear?
What I'm expecting to hear, I mean, that's a tricky one. But Tesla has been, I mean, if you look at the chart, it hasn't done really very much over the last few months. It's sort of drifted lower.
Sideways.
Yeah, sideways trading. And we basically need to break out of that range we've been in between, I believe, November and January. So I'll just follow the trend, to be honest. But it wouldn't be my first choice to be long Tesla. Also, from a fundamental point of view, what I've said, I think on this show already earlier this year, I see more and more, at least in London, Mercedes EVs, BMW EVs, Porsche EVs.
Flying the German flag there.
No, but the thing is, a lot of people are very brand conscious, and they prefer to buy the same brand.
This is true.
And even if they switch to EV, they'll probably want to buy another Mercedes instead of buying a Tesla. So for that reason, I think the big, strong Tesla uptrend that we've seen over the last decade nearly, that's probably over, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. People who buy certain brands tend to stick to certain brands. As you know, I have changed up, and it took me a very long time to get used to a Polestar. However, the technology, I learned something new this weekend, Axel. The door on just my side beeped at me and stopped me from getting out because you could see a van coming on my side.
Oh, that's clever.
So it actually stopped me from opening my car door. And when a beep came, it even shut my door back.
Wow.
A bit Big Brother, okay? A bit Big Brother, but you know, hey, it saved my leg probably. I probably would have seen the van, but it was still quite far away, and it still alerted me to it. So, you know, better eye technology than my own eyesight.
Coming back to Tesla, though, I need to say that basically, I was just talking about the automobile bit of it, but obviously the robotics is a totally different story. And maybe that's the direction that Tesla is heading in. And
Optimus.
Exactly. And there, I do think that there is a lot of potential still for the share price to rise.
So, funnily enough, Musk did say that they're expecting Optimus. For those of you who don't know, it's the humanoid project that could potentially come on shelves, or rather on online shelves, to the public by the end of next year. The thing is, even if that's close to being true, what we've known with Tesla is continued delays. There's a lot of hype, right? But continued delays, like we've seen with the robo-taxi rollout. However, Austin has just seen the robo-taxis without a human safety monitor.
Okay.
So that data might be interesting as well, and there's talk that it might be unveiled when we get the numbers. Other than that, it's also a big week in the latter half for some big consumer names. We've also got you know, American Express and Disney, along with the big oil majors. Disney is an interesting one. I don't know whether you use any Disney products or subscribe to.
I don't.
Disney
I'm very
Plus.
boring.
No, thank God. Axel's like, thank God that's past me now. Whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, Disney is an interesting one because looking at their chart, let's get it up for you. It still has, to my mind, quite a hill to climb. And it's still not yet broken out of that sideways channel. It has not just management issues, it has to make sure that its streaming endeavors starts making real money as it's struggling to get people, you know, and its parks continue to be ever relevant with so much competition out there. But it's really the streaming, and it's not just Disney, isn't it? It's streaming that's actually killing Hollywood and the business model that has been built over decades and decades.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly need to adapt, but they knew that this was coming. I mean, if you look at cinemas now, I saw in the UK just an advert for Odeon, and they reduced their prices because nobody's going to the cinema anymore. What's interesting, though, coming you know, back to cinema, the Curzon, the small cinemas, the independents, etc.
The picture houses.
And the picture houses, they seem to be doing well because they've changed their business model, whereby you have, you know, reclining seats, you can get some food, things like that. So they try to get people into cinemas by offering something else. So I think the studios in the US need to just adapt. And also, interestingly, now that we've seen the Oscar nominations, is that a lot of European movies and Asian movies seem to be doing quite well. We saw that at the Golden Globes as well. So Hollywood needs to probably, perhaps to some degree, not just do blockbuster movies, but do something else. And it's interesting what's going to happen there in the future. It would be a shame, though, if we didn't have cinemas anymore.
Still in my top three, Parasites. in terms of movies.
great movie.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I am a gold member of my local picture house. Gold, of course, is going cuckoo bananas along with silver. I mean, we talked about that earlier, but lots of you must be wondering where to next, given we still see gold with its nose above that 5,000 mark and silver as well above 100. Axel, give us a technical overview.
Well, I need to basically come up with new Fibonacci extension targets. To be quite honest with you, I was surprised that we just straight went through 5,000 because it's such a round number. Usually markets would pause for a while, but now we have 5,100.
I was at
I mean,
2:30, 3 o'clock selling anything that I had low conviction and just pushing it into silver because I knew it would just cut through like a hot knife through butter and continue onwards. There are some sites in the US where you cannot take delivery of gold coins. And are you familiar with numismatics?
I've heard of them.
So they are just coins with, like, sometimes to Asians anyway, cartoony images. It's seen as the gimmicky, cheaper end, right? So if it's like we're coming up to the Year of the Horse, Chinese New Year of the Horse, you buy these coins with the horse on it, right? Or you might get one that's commemorative and you have like Mickey Mouse because the House of Mouse is celebrating an anniversary. But it's seen as the gimmicky end, right? It's not like you're not buying bullion, you're not buying tola. They're not actually selling. Some of these houses are not selling, not because they don't have it, but they're sending you emails to say, we can't sell this to you at the moment because we can't price it. And that to me just means that it's moving so rapidly, right, higher in this case, that they are just withholding for now. So yeah, I would love to know what your new Fibonacci extensions show, because of course all the big brokers, the Goldman Sachs, the Morgan Stanleys, the JP Morgans, earlier this year we've already seen them ramp up their expectations, right? 5,400 I think is the Goldman Sachs new target.
But we might be there in a week or two. I mean, all we need is for Trump to say two more things, against another country. And we're there. I mean, yes, but just be aware that if you trade gold and silver, and it's exciting, it's volatile and so forth, but what goes up very, very rapidly comes down very, very rapidly. Yeah. So if you have these parabolic rises, you do tend to get the parabolic
walk up the stairs,
inverse.
Down like a lift.
So, just think of what we saw with GameStop, these meme stocks and things like that. The same can happen here. So just be very, very careful that you have trailing take profit orders, that you're not, aiming for $10,000 now, because it's probably not going to happen straight away. So yeah, just be aware that at the moment, clearly it's very, very, very bullish, extremely bullish. But don't forget, we had an 11% daily drop in December on silver. We could easily see something like that in the very near future again.
That's right. And silver, out of all the metals, and this is talking from experience, is the one that will have that crazy kick-ass drop if it does. I mean, it's the one that sends people over the edge if they're not used to it. And out of all of the metals, I would say spot silver is the one that is likely to make you lose your nerves, because when it falls, it can really, really plunge. So I'm going to be curious cat here, because I'd love your views as well, and Axel's views. I mean, to my mind, I'm taking some risks on the table. What I have on the table, I've got tight trailing stops, because I don't think you can call the top here.
No, you can't. I mean, you can always do that with hindsight, but you can never do it in advance.
Yeah.
And also, it can go much, much further than you think it might do, because some people have been selling at sort of 10,000, thinking it can't go any higher. It could easily go to 11, 12. Who knows?
Yeah, I learned a good trick from Chris on Friday, and he said, I normally look left as technical analysts. We're always taught to, look left on different time frames. But Chris told me to look right, and this is great to just kind of reframe the mind to kind of ask yourself, whether your theories still hold true, whether, whether you've missed something, whether you think it could fall, and then only pull the chart to the left-hand side.
And by the way, when I just said 10,000, I was speaking about the spread bet, obviously, not the dollar value of silver. It's at $100, obviously.
Yeah, 100.
But it could easily go to 110, is what I'm saying. So.
Another one that is absolutely going...
well, it is there now.
Yeah, it's there now. Really, really quite something else. Natural gas.
Yes, so we have a cold snap in the US, a very, very cold one coming towards the US. And it was really, really interesting because we had a huge surge higher last week, and it looked as if it was coming back down again. And then now we're past $6. I mean, it's unbelievable. Let me just see whether I can get the chart up. Yes, natural gas prices for weather reasons has gone absolutely berserk.
Yeah, so that's why, as Axel's looking at that, make sure that you keep an eye out for oil and gas-linked names on intraday. If you're trading intraday, if you're investing, of course, this will be a different thing for you. Crude backing off a bit now, but we're seeing UK natural gas still climbing there. Also, with the tariff-sensitive stocks as well, keep an eye on that because the likes of auto stocks, machinery, and also high Europe-US companies, high Europe-US revenue exposure, like the luxury stocks, will still be vulnerable to any other tariff rhetoric that we're going to hear this coming week, especially after what we've seen with the US and Canada.
Yes.
And China. Right. So big week for earnings, big, huge week for metals, I believe, especially with the climb that we've seen recently. Make sure that you've got your risk management in place because, as Axel rightly said, when you see these parabolic moves, it's likely that it can do the same on the way down. Any other sectors or segments you're looking at for the rest of this week?
Not necessarily sectors, but the markets in general. If you look at the S&P, the Dow, etc., they, especially the Nasdaq, are trading sideways. But as long as we stay above the lows seen from last week, people tend to forget that we still have a series of higher highs and higher lows. So we're still in uptrends, and we could reach new record highs again in the next few weeks. I mean, at the moment, it's the geopolitical risks and worries that dampen the upside. But you've got a weaker dollar, which is obviously helping commodities rise very strongly. We've got earnings out. If they come in better than expected, which they may well do, because a lot of analysts seem to have lowered their forecast because of the government shutdown in the US, but the US consumer probably still spend as before to a large degree because not everybody is a government employee. Then, if you get upside surprises here, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit new record highs. Yep.
And at the same time, make sure, as we talked about, risk management, because right now it is indicating that we have quite a lot of across-the-board risk-on views from a technical viewpoint. So make sure you have your gloves on. Right, thank you very much, Axel. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for being with us. And for the rest of you, I'll see you online, or do send us your questions on ask@ig.com or put them in the comments below. We'll get them answered for you. Whatever you're doing today, may you stack the favor in your odds.